Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long boy clothes, 1975. A YouTuber's on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends used to bug me. Long boys clothes, 1975.
Hey YouTube, almost post 1975. Look, check it out. Daylight. And me in the same video. I know, it's fucked up. Anyway, I got tagged by Shock16, the Renegade Master, who was tagged by ProBman5, Brad. By the way, I'll put links to both their channels in the doohickey down below. Brad is a criminally underrated channel. Like, seriously, people, go and check him out. I've never met him, but you know what I mean. I've never met anyone, or should I say, come across anyone who has such a concept of rationality for debating and discussion and making you walk away from the argument just going like, wow, he was on the money. Anyway, seriously, go and check him out. Top 5 games that are nostalgic for you. I don't know why I'm crossing my arms right now, I don't know. It makes me feel like a politician. Not necessarily your favourite games of all time, just games that have a certain amount of nostalgia for you, or a great amount of nostalgia for you, I should say. Anyway, slight random tangent. Just watch this, just turned to Sean Connery. Just watch this twice back to back. Oh, Flash Gordon, I love you. You're amazing. You're everything I remember you for being great for. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. Right, so 5 games that I'm particularly nostalgic for. Well, there's only 4. Where's my bloody 5th? Oh, Shizen. Oh, crap. Got it. And this is why I don't actually work professionally in the media industry. Right, so 5 games I have a massive amount of nostalgia for, and why. I think we're going to have to go with a cliche choice, probably, I know, and that would be Resident Evil 2 on the original PlayStation. This game just, being someone who grew up around Romero movies. Literally, there were Romero movies on the floor in VHS form when I was a child. Certainly grew up on those movies and absolutely adore zombies in the right hands. Cough, Romero. This game is absolutely fantastic, but there's a reason I have such a strong sense of nostalgia for it, which is up to this point there were no good zombie games, you know. And sorry people, Resident Evil 1 is pants compared to this. This is a work of masterpiece. I should stop making videos when I'm tired, shouldn't I? Just great, just, you know, so atmospheric, absolutely dripping in atmosphere. And one of the reasons I remember it or recall it as being so nostalgic for me is I do remember when I first got it. I got the an American version before, you know, it was released in the UK. And I had the great fortune, and ordinarily this would be bad, but it's good for this. I had the great fortune of breaking my hand 2 days before. So, or my arm, I should say. So I found this in the back of the black and whites. This is why it's nostalgic for me. The black and whites of a newspaper, and my mate drove me there because I couldn't drive. By the way, for the purpose of me explaining why I love this, my cast was to such a degree that I had full mobility in my hand. Otherwise, it wouldn't be in here. And yeah. I caned the crap out of it. I loved it. I adored it. The cutscenes, the story's so much better than the first one. And one thing that I do always remember was I was in the house completely by myself. At the time, my parents were like on holiday somewhere, and I suddenly looked at my my watch. No, I didn't. I looked at my computer because I don't own a watch. By the way, random tangent, I saw someone with an Apple Watch the other day and they were making a phone call on their arm, and I just remember thinking to myself, yes, it's, you know, worth quite a lot of money and probably as a status symbol, but you look like such a bellend right now. Beam me up. Anyway, yeah, parents were at the house, and I looked at my watch, my clock, my computer, and realised I've been playing this game solidly without a piss break for like 4 hours, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and the atmosphere got me so much that I thought, I gotta take a piss. Shit. And I actually ran down the corridor and didn't look in any of the rooms on my journey to said bathroom, because I was just, there might be zombies in there, That's, very few games can do that to you, specifically so. Back in the day, I don't know why I'm looking everywhere but the camera, specifically so back in the day when, visuals weren't as tight as they are now, but I have a great, every time I play this game I still think of that memory. So yeah, Resident Evil. By the way, these are in no particular order. The next one would be DJ. Help me out, Renegade Master. Sharks. DJ Boy on Sega Mega Drive. The reason I have such nostalgia for this is I played it in the arcade, and yes, the Mega Drive version is a really poor replication of the arcade machine. But the reason I have such nostalgia for this is it's one of my favourite Christmas Day presents ever, because I knew I was getting it. And the wait was unbearable, and I just still every day on Christmas Day, I still have a rolling thought in my head about my gaming experience with this, which was when I got up, I opened my presents, and I played this, and oh God, Christ, it was just magical. It's not even a particularly good game, but I think I completed it, and I can now, so that's a bold statement, like 5 times back to back before, and I was in the zone, in this little bubble, before my mum came upstairs and just went, Jesus Christ, it's Christmas Day and we're having lunch, drag your ass downstairs. So I always associate nostalgia with that game and that memory, because it was just a great... Do you remember Christmas Day when you still cared about... Well, I still care about Christmas. When people who don't care about Christmas, but it was still magical. That's why I have such nostalgia for that game. It was a wonderful memory that has never left me, and I will always associate it forever to this day to that game. Right. The next one, mainly because I couldn't find my PlayStation copy, but I have such great nostalgia for the original Metal Gear Solid. And Solid is what it is, a fucking amazing game. The reason I have nostalgia attached to that is, I think it's safe to say that I crawled over broken glass with my zipper down to finish it, because my first experience of the game was the Japanese version I imported, and this is before, like, Tenterwebs gave you walkthroughs and stuff like that and babysat you and held your hand, but I actually persevered, had no bloody Scooby what was going on in any of the cutscenes, but I persevered and completed the Japanese version. But I was just enthralled in it, so I loved it. It was so atmospheric, and now, having played, the Western release, the story is still one of the greatest stories ever. And I think my nostalgia for, excuse me, for this game is the fact that it used its own game engine for the cutscenes, which ordinarily at that point I'd be like, oh, this is crap, I want fucking CD rendered stuff, but no, that kind of woke my eyes up to the story being more important than the visuals, although the visuals are absolutely fantastic. And that's something else that's always stayed in my noggin, is the fact that it's how you tell the story that complements and makes a game so well. And I think this was the first time, like Resident Evil 2 was great up to this point, but I forget which one came out first, but this was just it was an ice cream sandwich for the win. It changed. This is why I have nostalgia for it. It changed my perspective on games. It's just absolutely fantastic. Plus, there's a pinch of Bond in there, and that always gives me a woody. Excuse me. And no ostrich steak sandwich this time. Just gack your throat. The next one for me would be Outrun on the Sega Mega Drive. Now, the reason I have such nostalgia for this is it's the first home port I played that was close enough to the arcade, and again, nostalgia comes from this, which is I adored Outrun in the arcade. I was lucky enough to go to an arcade or amusement park where they had the full sit-down hydraulic one, and it blew my mind off the sprite scaling and shit like that, and which you would never replicate at home. And this was before my brother had his PC Engine, so. And I played it on the Spectrum, but it was just, a bucket full of, lukewarm piss compared to it. My nostalgia comes from how important the arcade machine was to me, because I loved it and I adored it. But the reason this floats my boat, and puts lead in my pencil, if you will, is because it was the first time I truly felt that I was getting somewhat of the arcade experience at home. Forget the Master System version, forget the Game Gear version, forget the Spectrum version. You know, this just tearing down the highway with, you know, the music, the epic Outrun music going through, you know, your head. That's why it's nostalgic for me, because just I think more so than most, it's probably the music from Outrun that, you know, it gives me a woody. But I adore this game, and yes, this is weak compared to like the Saturn, the Dreamcast, the Sega Ages version, but it was, you know, it was the first time I properly got to experience something bordering on the arcade, if you will, from someone who had such a hard-on for the arcade. And finally, and it's actually, I know this was about nostalgia and not necessarily your favourite games, but this is my favourite entry into the Grand Theft Auto series, Vice City. I think it's safe to say that Grand Theft Auto was a, you know, opening call, a wake-up call. It blew all our minds. Those of us who were marred in our ways I just invented a new word, with games, and the original Grand Theft Auto came out. But as great as it was, and a technical achievement as it was missing something. It had no sort of soul or personality. And then they put voice acting in this. Wouldn't you, bollocks, what's his name? Ray Liotta. Your character was voiced by Ray Liotta. Burt Reynolds is one of the bad guys. I got this. I remember it was really awkward because I got this by cutting in line on, you know, well, it wasn't even launch day. Launch days weren't like they are now, back in the day. But yes, I'm an asshole. I cut in line at the desk to make sure I got this before it sold out, because it's sold out big time. Then I caned the shit out of it, and the reason it's nostalgic for me is not just that memory. Or, although that makes me shit, just it's like the game series as it is now, you know, woke up on this game, and I can't explain it. I always look at this game and remember my memories, and just remember thinking, first game was alright, you know, it changed the scope and stuff like that, or the world of gaming, but there was something quite missing. And the voice acting and the way the story and the plot developed in this game, absolutely just blew me away, and that's why I'm so nostalgic for it, because it's like games kind of, or one niche market of area of games, realised what they could be if they tried really hard, and that's why it's my favourite Grand Theft Auto ever. Fucking adore it. Anyway, yeah, that was really random. I haven't been to bed yet, that's why I'm quite tired, so sorry if this was a little bit all over the shop, but 5 people I need to tag for your 5 most nostalgic games. I want to I want to tag my good friend Dean Thompson from Escape to Gaming. There'll be links to all these people's channels in the doohickey down below. Go and check him out. It's an absolute fucking slice of fried gold. Plus he likes cars, so that makes him awesome. And he's owned some fucking amazing ones. I want to tag. Should have wrote a fucking list. Oh wait, I didn't, because I don't have a fucking pen. I want to tag Power Metal Gamer. Again, criminally underrated channel. Tag. I'm tagging you. Go and check him out, seriously. That's 2. I want to also tag my mate Xander Scullion from Excess Gaming Podcast. I understand that, you know, you're in a little bit of a rough patch right now, so if you can, people send him you know, thoughts and love. If you can, that's all cool. Again, link in the doohickey down below. 5. Oh, I want to tag Scott Bailey from SGR Game Reviews. Love to know what you think about it, mate. Been a while since we chatted. So, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later.